Hi, I'm Donna,
And I'm Will.
and this is Journey with Donna and Will. And today we're going to talk about our ancestors, our female ancestors, and college education. So Malcolm X said, education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Nelson Mandela also said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world.
And B.B. King is credited with saying, the beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away. And I always remember a lot of people in my family would always say that. Education is the one thing you can't take away from someone.
And George Washington Carver said, education is the key to unlock the golden door to freedom.
Yeah.
And I agree with that, because I always think of education, especially getting a degree, as a passport to your future.
So people always talk about who's the first person who went to college in your family. And during my research, I found out, and I had known my grandmother was a teacher, but I was unaware of the time period in which she went to college. So in 1920, at the age of 16, my grandmother Verda, who at the time her name was in college, Druscilla Verda Thomas, was the first person in my family who went to school. She went to Brewer Institute in Greenwood, South Carolina. As I looked at the 1920 census, I saw that there were 80 students there at the same time that my grandmother was there. They were all black or mulatto, and 59 were female and 21 were male. They had 9 teachers. They were all white, and they were all from the north, New York, Connecticut, Maine, Massachusetts. I thought that was interesting. They came down south to teach, well, which is good. That was where my grandmother went to school at the age of 16 in 1920, which was very powerful to find out that she had started school way back then.
Very good. Yeah, I was also pleasantly surprised to learn that I had a relative, my grandmother's sister, my aunt Eula Reynolds. She went to Tennessee State University, we estimate, back in the early to mid 30s, 1930s. And my aunt Eula was born in 1917. It indicated she went to the Tennessee State University and ultimately had a successful career with the federal government. So yeah, I was happy to see that information.
That's really impressive way back then that, as African American females to be in school, as early as 1920 and in the mid 1930s. I think that's awesome. My grandmother, she in the 1930 census, I can see where she became a teacher in the public schools. My mom, Miss Thelma Belton Fair, was also a teacher. She went to school at Benedict College in Columbia, South Carolina. Also, my dad did, but we're focusing on the women in this particular video. Her sisters also, her younger sisters also went to Benedict College, and that would be my Aunt Boots, aka Miss Virginia Belton Branch, Aunt Vaughn, Yvonne Belton Campbell. All 3 of them went to Benedict College and graduated from Benedict College. My aunt Boots also was responsible for implementing the Dewey Decimal System in the Fairfax County. And my Aunt Vaughn, she was Miss Benedict in 1957 and 58. My mom's older sisters, my Aunt Ann Belton Jackson, she went to Waverly Nursing School in Columbia, South Carolina. Waverly started by a black physician, Dr. Norman Jenkins, and his 4 brothers. And then my other aunt, Aunt Georgie, she went to a beauty school and she owned her own business that was in Columbia, South Carolina. These were all historically black schools. The missionaries, white missionaries that started these schools. In 1872, the Brewer Institute was started by Reverend Josiah Brewer, who was a missionary. And his son, actually, David Brewer, was on the U.S. Supreme Court. So that was kind of interesting to find out that that's what the school is. Their last name is what the school was named after. Benedict College was started in 1870 by Bathsheba Benedict, who was from Rhode Island. The schools were based on religion. So Benedict was considered a Baptist school, and the school across from it, Allen, was considered a Methodist school. So that was interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, it seems like our ancestors, because of the limited educational opportunities, so they primarily studied education or teaching and the ministry, because I do. So yeah, education definitely runs throughout both of our families, and it's very important to success.
Thanks to Grandma Verda for being the first one to go to college in 1920 at the age of 16.
Yeah, thanks to my aunt Eula, who went to college in the mid-1930s.
So I want to thank my mom, Thelma Belton Fair, and also, of course, my aunts, Aunt Boots, Miss Virginia Branch, and Aunt Vaughn, and Aunt Ann, and Aunt Georgie. So thanks to our ancestors that came before, respecting those who came before and led the way for us to be where we are. We stand on their shoulders, and we're very appreciative of that. I'm Donna.
And I'm Will.
And this was Journeying with Donna and Will. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next episode.